Now let us look at the discussions for the results as acquired from the investigation program in your research study. Discussions normally come immediately after the result sections, and it is typically backed up with the informations provided in the result sections. In your discussions, you can provide detailed explanations for each of the objectives of your research. You may also provide an overview of the works that was carried out for you to acquire the results. And then you can summarize the main outcomes, indicate and provide justifications whether to accept or to reject the hypothesis of your research study. Also, you can identify the predominant result and contrast them with the other reported outcomes. This reported outcome can be acquired from your literature review. If your result and findings is in line with the reported outcome, you may use those reported outcomes to prove your findings or justify your opinions or argument. If your result contradicts to the reported outcome, you will need to explain why is it different from the outcomes. Probably there are some factors contributing to it which was not taken into considerations by the previous study. You may also have the discussions for the potential weaknesses of your interpretations, which should be made clear to the reader if any of the weaknesses appear, so that they know that the basis that leads to your interpretations, to have an idea if there is any possibility of misinterpreting something. These are a few key elements of discussions, which include the interpretations. What does the result means? The implications. Why do this result matters? The limitations. What can the result tell us? As well as the recommendations. What practical actions or scientific studies should follow? These questions give you some directions when you want to discuss certain results. You will use which is appropriate and in line to your purpose of the discussions, which may not necessarily to have all four of them appear in one discussions. The discussions is also about interpreting findings, which include the explanations of the finding, that you suggest the reasons for the findings. You may also argue for a cause-effect relationships. You may also make generalizations based on the findings. Compare your findings with the previous findings in order to show consistency or inconsistency between your findings with the previous studies. You will need to provide explanations for the outcome of the comparisons with the previous studies. Of course, your findings need to be supported by the relevant theories, and then interpreting the findings may also involve making an inference with sufficient support from the findings and relevant literature review. In fact, the discussions is quite free and which with the same set of the data and results, different researchers may address it differently. They may cover different aspects, which result in different findings. In general, your discussion should link everything within your thesis, from the fundamentals, existing theories, previous findings that you have acquired from your literature review, by looking into your research methodology, as well as the data and result as acquired from those methodology, finding the connections between the previous study and what you have acquired from the investigation program, providing interpretations explanations as well as the findings based on the result that you acquire from your investigation program. It will be more towards your professional opinions and very much dependence on the prior knowledge that you have possessed while carrying out your research study. Normally, we would like the discussions to be in-depth, pointing out critical points which is impactful to the reader, and your arguments or professional opinion should have strong basis of the existing principles, theories and concepts which cannot be logically denied or questioned by the readers. You will need to enlighten the readers how the result should be interpreted, why is the result matter, and in case that there are some limitations, you will need to make known to the reader, sharing all the necessary informations for the readers to have his own independent interpretations. What you are doing actually is sharing your professional opinion as a mechanism to communicate among the academic community. Technically, you are not persuading the readers to follow the directions of your thoughts. You will need to justify your findings and opinions. It will be up to the reader to decide whether they agree with you or disagree with you.